Hi, and welcome to Content That Clicks, your go-to pod class for mastering content in the tech world. We're two writers based in the MENA region breaking down everything you need to know about content in all of its forms to level up your skills, your product, and your business.
In each episode, we unpack a different way content can level up your business, whether it's fixing UX issues, getting localization right, or using AI without sounding like a robot. Because when your content clicks, so do your metrics.
Today, it's time for a content boost where we share one of our favorite quick hit content tips to level up your tech writing.
And like we always say, this isn't just a podcast, it's a pod class. So grab your notebook because we're about to share a game-changing perspective that will transform how you write your content.
But first, a quick intro. I'm Rochelle.
And I'm Hennie.
And we are content experts. Together, we have more than 25 years experience writing for over 100 brands across 15 countries.
And we're here to help you write content that clicks. Let's get into it.
In today's Content Boost, we share our favorite hack for scaling content without growing your team. And that is working with freelancers. Things can move so fast in tech, so knowing how to tap into freelance talent can be a serious game changer for your content ops.
Yep. You don't need to pick between taking months to hire a big in-house team or outsourcing everything to an expensive agency. There's a really smart middle ground, and that's freelancers. Used right, they can help you scale content without the overhead or the stress.
Now, I know for some of you, the word freelancer might have negative connotations of underqualified amateurs who are just trying to make a bit of extra cash on the side, or flaky creatives who miss deadlines, or ghost you without ever finishing the project. But in our experience, that is just not true, at least not if you do it right.
The MENA region has a growing pool of talented freelance content creators, copywriters, and designers. The key is knowing how to work with them to get the results that you need. And our simple framework, the 3 N's for working with freelancers, does just that. So let's get into it.
The first N stands for needs. You've got to start by understanding what you actually need from the freelancer. Is it long-form blogs, product copy, UX writing? And you also need to get clear on how long you need their support for. Is it a short one-off project like a tone of voice guide or regular monthly support with social posts? Because without getting clear on what you really need, you're either overhiring or underbriefing, and both will cost you. Now, I am a big advocate for using freelancers on a project-by-project basis rather than just for ad hoc tasks. I personally did this a lot back in the UK. I would join companies for anything from 3 months to a year, and I'd be brought in to focus on a specific project, like a rebrand, a digital migration, or a product launch. I'd work in-house, full-time, but on a short-term contract. Sometimes it was to cover maternity leave, other times it was to keep up with BAU demands while they were hiring for a permanent new team member. Now, I don't see that model used as much in this region at the moment, but I do think it is a great way for companies to get support because you get talent that can hit the ground running, but without the long-term commitment of permanent headcount.
Exactly. Okay, so once you're clear on what you need, it's time to move on to N number 2, which is network. You need to build a strong network of go-to freelancers with different specialities, and you don't want to wait until you're drowning in deadlines to start looking. The magic with freelancers happens when you've got the right person for the right job on speed dial. Think of it like slowly building your very own internal agency, except faster and more flexible. You want to have a pool of talent that you know you can rely on to deliver. A UX writer for product flows, a blog writer for SEO content, a designer for LinkedIn carousels. Treat building your freelance network like a mini hiring process. Keep an eye on LinkedIn for recommendations in your network, check their portfolios, do a small project if you need to, and keep notes on who was great and who wasn't quite the right fit.
Okay, that brings us on to the final N, which is nail it. Because the secret to getting great work from freelancers isn't luck, it's a great brief. And this is where most people drop the ball. They send a few bullet points and they expect magic. But if you take the time to give context, share your brand guidelines, and give information about your audience, you'll save yourself so much back and forth. Now, I have done a lot of freelance work over the years, and I'm going to share one of my top tips here, which is to use voice notes. This is my go-to, especially when I'm working with busy founders or someone in the C-suite. These people often have really valuable insights. They have great case studies and killer one-liners that can inspire a whole new brand direction. The problem is often finding the time to speak to them in between meetings and business travel. So I'll ask them to send me some voice notes, talking me through what they think should be included in a particular piece of content. I find it really speeds up the process, and particularly in startups, it can be a great way to get a feel for the brand tone of voice that the founder wants to go for.
And speaking of insider tips, I've got a favorite hack of my own when it comes to working with freelancers. And that is to create a freelancer onboarding doc so that you have everything in one place. Your style guide, examples of great content, content do's and don'ts, file naming conventions, even your preferred tools. It might take you a few hours up front, but it will save you weeks later. If you're up against an urgent deadline, it's so much easier to have a ready-made pack you can send quickly rather than having to pull all of these documents together every single time.
That's it for today's content boost. We'll be back next time with another quick win for sharper content and smoother experiences.
If you want more tips like these, you can follow us on Instagram at content.clicks or TikTok at content.clicks.pod.
You can also let us know what you think of today's content boost by dropping us a DM or emailing us at content@clickspod@gmail.com.
Until next time, keep making content that clicks.